Hello, and welcome to another episode of Coach and Coffee.
Howdy.
Make sure you get your coffee and come drink with us. Cheers! Today, we are going to talk a little bit about tapering, more like just scaling back your training before a race, which is essentially what tapering means, just decreasing your volume so your body has time to rest and you're not going into a race really exhausted.
So for me, I've experienced both not tapering like at all and being really sore going into a race, and then also tapering properly. But at the end of the day, it comes down to like how important the race is to you. If you race a lot, like some of the smaller, just like for Spartan, if you have I had a season pass in 2018, so I did as many races as I could to get the most out of it. Some races were just like, you know, for fun. Maybe it was a flat, like Virginia, that's a flatter course. It's a lot of fun, but it's not like
Arlington.
Yeah. It's not like this huge race that I'm all, you know, super pumped up. It's not the North American Championship.
Right.
That race I definitely tapered for. But sometimes I think it's good to challenge yourself out on the course when you are a little fatigued and worn out, just to get that experience. But again, if it's a really important race like the North American Championship or whatever, or maybe it's just a race at a venue that you really like and you want to do your best or beat your placement to compare or whatever, then yeah, you should taper for it.
Yep. Yeah, it really just comes down to essentially with everything else, what's your goal? So if your goal is to do your very best at the race and like set the best time you've ever done, then your best chance will be to cut back your training a little bit, like just scale the volume down before that race so that you are rested going into it. But yeah, like there are athletes who get the season pass and race literally every weekend that they can for the whole year. So they might knock out 30 plus races. For them, you don't really have the opportunity to taper because you need to train still and race. So
that's tiring. That would be a lot. Even if you're not trying to place very well, that would be extremely tiring.
Hey, people do it and they perform well throughout, but generally speaking, a top performer won't do that, and your best race is probably, you're not going to have the best race that you possibly could. All of my best races came with some type of rest beforehand, not necessarily a long time, but at least a few days of either scaled back, or what I actually ended up doing for short races last year particularly was just taking the 2 days before the race completely off. Up until that point I would be doing the full volume, but for short races, yeah, just take 2 days off, let your body rest, and then go into it fresh.
Yeah, and during that time off, you want to, if you're going to exercise, just keep it light, maybe a light run or something like that.
Short distances, short time frames.
Drink a ton of water, get as much sleep as you can.
Yeah.
I usually do like a little bit of a carb load, like I'll eat, you know, some extra oatmeal or something like that, honestly, just so I have some more carbs in my system. And psychologically, at least for me, and some extra protein, I just feel like I'm recovering better when I get the extra food and nutrients. So doing that before a race, that's going to help. Just don't overdo it to where your body is just overwhelmed with more food than you're used to. So I'll eat a little bit more, but I'm not going to like gorge myself so that race day comes and I'm looking for a porta potty or a tree to hide behind and explode. Let's get real.
Has that ever happened?
No.
Just checking.
No, it has not. Before a race, I'm in the porta potty, but
as are we all. If you're going to be doing a longer race, like we train some clients with Trio Fitness OCR who have goals for longer distances, and before either a long training session or one of the long races that they want to do, we scale back the training. So like one of our clients was training for the Killington Ultra, which is no longer happening. So with her training, we would practice scaling back several days before the race to make sure she was good and rested. She'd still do some things like stretching, foam rolling, some light exercises, and then she'd go out and do the long training effort or whatever. But For a longer event or a harder event, you're going to need some more recovery time before it. For a shorter event or a less long event, maybe less recovery time. It just depends.
Yeah, but you also want to gauge your workouts too. Like if it's a shorter event, maybe not do a strength or any workout that's really going to fatigue your legs, like lunges. You should not do lunges or work out with squats or something like that before a shorter one.
Yeah.
Because a shorter event, you're generally trying to go faster than you would at a longer event. You're not going to be able to keep that pace if your muscles are torn up.
Yeah. It's not fun running on really sore legs. That's actually my least favorite thing to do.
Doesn't feel
in
good.
training, I realized that I don't like running after weight training with my lower body when it's sore. It feels terrible.
Yep. So
that's about it for tapering. Just, scale back your training a few days before. Take it easy, get plenty of rest, hydrate. You should always be hydrated anyway. Eat plenty of food, enough, not too much, and yeah, you'll do better than if you do like a really hard HIIT workout or a really long run or a CrossFit workout the day before a race.
It's a simple concept, but it can make a world of difference with your placement.
Absolutely. That's it for today, and we will catch you next time on Coach and Coffee.
Thanks for watching.